Hi, I am Ekber Hacı Softoğlu from Bilgi University. Bilgi University is the coordinator of Sinafe project, social inclusion of African athletes in Europe project. The aim of the project is to provide a social support mechanisms for migrant footballers in different countries in Europe. This is one of the important subjects we believe as researchers in sport because migrants are the most vulnerable groups in this era, and there is an increasing number of migrants group as footballers, and they are so vulnerable with the process and inclusion procedures. We conducted a research to understand this fact in different countries in Europe, and one of these was Turkey. Yağmur conducted a research in the area.
Yes, hi, I'm Yağmur Nuhrat. I'm also based in Istanbul Bilgi University, and I wanted to talk a little bit about one of our findings, which is that African athletes are very much motivated and devoted to come to Turkey and sometimes to move on from Turkey to other places, preferably in Europe, to play. And as they voiced this dedication and this desire, it became clearer and clearer to us that it is this undying desire that makes them so vulnerable at the hands of authorities. So they might find themselves abandoned, they might find themselves cheated, they might find themselves at disadvantageous positions, and it isn't because they are unaware or clueless as to how certain dynamics will play out. It is more because they are absolutely determined to make it. So this goal to get out and to make it is very effective to motivate them, but it's also as effective to produce them as very, very vulnerable. So it's been interesting for us to think through those dynamics. And we're very excited about the next phases of the project where we can actually develop a toolkit to support the inclusion of African athletes.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Nuno Oliveira. I'm a researcher and a teacher at the Lisbon University Institute, and I'm in Paris for a meeting of Sinafe, which is a project on the social inclusion of African athletes in Europe, and we are one of the partners of this project. I just came from a very interesting 2-day meeting where we had the opportunity to discuss our findings and to present our first national reports. And we came to the conclusion that though there are some comparable aspects, there are also some striking differences between countries and the way they dealt with the issue of African athletes migrating to Europe. In the case of Portugal, there is an ongoing concern with abusive practice from the part of the agents, and also with illegal immigration, which means trafficking in football. Therefore, I'm very keen to see how will this project develop further, and how will our findings be applied in practical terms. And I really think that Sinafe will make differences in the life of these young African athletes in the future to come.
Hello, my name is Sandra Radenovic, and I'm associate professor here at the Faculty of Sport and Physical Education. I'm teaching sociology of sport, and also I'm part of our Sinafe project. After this first phase of our project, I can conclude that this issue of social inclusion of migrant athletes here in our contemporary Serbian society is not a too much researched issue. Also, we can conclude that we have many differences between Republic of Serbia and other countries of other European countries which are the part of our project. But what is the same? The same is the goal, and our goal is to improve the inclusion of African migrant athletes in European societies. Thank you. Hello, everybody. This is the building of the Faculty of Sport and Physical Education, University of Belgrade. As you know, our University of Belgrade is the part of our Sinafe project.
Hi, my name is Peter Lafrenz and I'm the founder of Esprit de Sport International. It's an NGO working with helping youth sports in Africa, West Africa. And we are originally from Sweden. We have an organization in Sweden and we have an organization in Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, West Africa. And we are participating in this project Sinafe for social inclusion of African athletes in Europe. And right now we have finalized our first part in the national report for IO1. And we have had this meeting here in Paris. And it's very interesting to hear the different results from the different countries around in Europe and see that it's different, it differs. We don't have the same problems in the different countries, but there are problems. And also from our point of view, we will use this for implementation in Africa. So we are the length of the project in Africa. So we are both responsible for Sweden and the implementation in Africa of the result of the project. And we're looking forward to completion and have a nice product that we can present to Swedish institutions and that will help for the African migrants and also in Africa for every young boy and girl dreaming about becoming a football player in Europe. So that's our objective. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm the project coordinator at Campus Saint-Denis Academy of Football here in Paris. I'm also the researcher on Sinafe project. Sinafe project targets the social inclusion of African footballers here in Europe. And it aims at providing and developing a support mechanism for them to rely on so that they can feel included in today's society. That's precisely why Campus Saint-Denis decided, along with our European partners, decided to become active participants in this wonderful project. Campus Saint-Denis is an advocacy association which has been working with different partners, different organizations, hand in hand with them to cope with African footballers' needs in and out of the field. Sinafe project consists of 3 phases, and during phase 1 we had to conduct interviews of NGO representatives, agents, African footballers and club managers, agents, reporters. What struck us the most while interviewing African players were first their eagerness to come and settle in France, regardless of the hardship of the trip. Second was the fact that they don't know, they lack of knowledge of their own rights and what they're entitled to. Therefore, Campus Saint-Denis, alongside European partners, wanted to make a difference in their lives. So we look forward to the completion and the outcome of the project. Thank you for watching the video. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Dr. Monique Emser, part of Mission 89's research team on the Sinafe project. We're incredibly proud to be part of this transnational project which seeks to provide a support mechanism for African migrant athletes to facilitate their social inclusion in Europe. Now, the first phase of the Sinafe project has been completed, and this involved investigating existing mechanisms for social inclusion and examining gaps in available programs and services. And we explored the lived experiences of African migrant athletes in Europe and used Switzerland as a country case study to delve deeper into these issues. Now, what we found was that while the concept of social inclusion has become firmly entrenched in European and member of state policy, there are numerous challenges to its realization where migrant African athletes are concerned due to their unique vulnerabilities. Social exclusion is a multidimensional phenomenon that begins in the country of origin of the migrant athlete and may be amplified or reinforced even after the migration process has been completed. It is thus essential that interventions aimed at social inclusion begin prior to the departure of athletes from their countries of origin. And perhaps one of the most striking, if not most disturbing, findings of this research is the repeated narrative of migrant African athletes, many of them still minors, being exploited or trafficked to and within Europe. One of the complicating factors that renders so many migrant athletes vulnerable is the fact that the vast majority of aspirant athletes will not be selected by clubs, or they'll be abandoned by their agents, thereby finding themselves not only excluded from society, but without a legal right to remain in the host country, whether their visas have expired or they are undocumented. Adding to this is the fact that many young athletes may not be au fait with the language of the host country or even be aware of their rights, and thus unable to access institutions that actually could assist them. Similarly, we find the role of agents being cited as an area of key concern, particularly predatory agents, who may be linked to these issues of trafficking or abandoning young athletes or merely treating them as commodities. Thus, ethical recruitment practices and mechanisms are required, especially in socioeconomically depressed areas, and protecting young African footballers is considered a vital support mechanism.